is in. I repeat, McGlynn is in. Let the fun begin. This is the Commissioner Evaluation Podcast with your host, John McGlynn.
Was that Herms?
He got them guests on the Rolodex, stopping by to talk about some Dynasty Superflex. Everybody, yo, commish is in. It's time to sit down to listen to John McGlynn. Yo, who we trading, who we fading, who we getting off the squad. Knowledge never overrated, playing for number one. And yo, McGlynn is in. It's time to let the fun begin. It's the Commissioner Evaluation Podcast with John McGlynn.
A little different. This isn't the podcast of the show. It's just me reviewing some teams in my Mighty McGlynn Dynasty League home leagues. This show is about the 312 Dynasty Gurus. And so let's talk about it. Thank goodness this one is over. The injuries were plentiful as disappointments were just as bad. We'll get to all that later, but let's recap week one divisional playoff reasoning. It's just a win, loss, or tie matchup. It's a fun wrinkle to add a third game as a divisional tiebreaker if necessary later in the season. Your starting lineup against your other two division opponents was all that really mattered this week. The original matchups were irrelevant. I had to wait for the final scores to be tallied before I could make any adjustments. I faced the highest scoring team and the lowest scoring team in each individual division against each other manually for a winner and a loser. I then assigned a tie to all four division owners who scored lower than their division high score, but higher than division low score. It still counts as a regular season game, but will only really be important if you tie your division opponents for a playoff spot. Remember, the two wild cards are the teams with the highest points for, not max points for. Those are the ones that did not win their division, obviously. Having lower MPF, max points for, gets you more chances at lottery balls in the rookie draft lottery, which really only matters for picks 1 to 6 overall in the rookie draft. All the points that were manipulated by me and are documented and will be pinned to message board for clarity and possible playoff seedings at the conclusion of the regular season. Quick recap of week one. Myself versus Lucas. I was teasing Lucas. I think there was no way I could have lost this game, so I lost to Lucas week one. I got a division loss. Lucas gets a division one. Only sleeper projections had me winning 236 to 202. That didn't happen. Not one player in my starting lineup hit the projection. The only players on my 30-man roster that hit the projections were Kenny Gainwell and Roshan Johnson. Meanwhile, Lucas employed Nick Chubb and Calvin Ridley against me. Lucas did lose Aaron Rodgers for the year, which will not be good for his immediate future as all his backup quarterbacks are – he doesn't have much backup quarterbacks on his bench. So not good for him. Next matchup, Sean Foss versus Tim O'Brien. Tim was a heavy 227 to 206 original projected matchup favorite. Both of these guys scored more than the lowest score in their individual divisions, but also scored less than the higher score in their individual divisions. That's when I changed the schedule to make them play each other, change the score, awarding both of them individual division ties in their own individual divisions. Foss had Burrow, Dobbs as his quarterbacks, but the Diggs, Olave, and Hunter Henry pull that stack kind of helped his team out. O'Brien had Geno and Daniel Jones passing for him. His running back core of Stevenson, Walker, Pollard, and Cook kept him in business. Leaving Matt Stafford on the bench was a mistake he wishes he could probably take back right now, I'm sure. Joe Castleman versus Nick Script was the next one. As excited as Nick probably was about the performance of Tua Tagovailoa, is probably equally as bummed about losing J.K. Dobbins. Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers led the rest of the charge, but the rest of Nick's starting lineup was unimpressive. Nick took an L from Joe, who had Justin Jefferson and Brandon Ayuk combined for almost 90 points alone by themselves. Almost everyone else in the starting lineup pulled their own weight besides Dameon Pierce and Jamar Gibbs. Even if Nick started Mac Jones, it still wouldn't have made up the difference of Joe's victory. Colin Taylor versus Joe Galen. Austin Eckler, Kirk Cousins had a massive day from Tyreek Hill gave Colin an easy win over Buddha. Even Lamar Jackson shit in the bed couldn't save Joel. Anthony Richardson and especially Christian McCaffrey got Joel 164 points, but Colin's 233 was way too much to overcome. Sean Roach versus Jason Tedesco. Even though Sean's team, the law firm of Chase, Cup, and Wilson, was a 25-point favorite, These guys went blow for blow and ended up with a commissioner-adjusted tie in their respective divisions as a result. Nice work, guys. It's better than a loss. Neither of them had super studs on their bench that would have made a difference anyway. So a tie is a tie, better than a loss. Kyle August for Steven Johnson. Steven was originally projected to win 224 to 222 over Kyle, which would have made for a great game. Real good, high-scoring 2-point game. Unfortunately, Kyle had 5 guys on his team score under 10 points or less and ended up losing 185 to 193. Both well below their projections, but if Kyle had Joe Montana and Jerry Rice on his team, he may have stood a chance, but he had Bryce Young and T. Higgins instead, so that's unfortunate. So the standings right now are, in Division 1, Jacksonville Jagbags, 1-0. Healthy Scratch, 0-1. Myself, 0-1. Next division, Joe Castleman, 1-0. Jay Bird, 0-1. Nick Scripp, 0-1. Tyreek and Destroy, 1-0. Law firm of Chase Cup and Wilson, 0-1. Buddha, 0-1. Last division, Steven Johnson, 1-0. Can You Digs It, 0-1. Oompa Loompa Quarterback Club, 0-1. Terrible week across the board for scoring. So I came up with projections last week, early in the season, kind of how I saw the teams, but I let other people do it now because it pissed everybody off when I said my projections last week. So Sean Roach chimed in. He's got yours truly as number 1 on the power rankings, then Joe Castleman, Tim O'Brien, himself, Sean Roach, Joe Galem, Colin Taylor, Kyle August, and then Steven Johnson, Jason Nadesco, Lucas, and at the bottom is Nick Scripp. Now you guys can be mad at Sean instead of me for a change if you don't like the way he ranks our teams. But a little quick update on the 312 Dynasty League State of the Union situation. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll try and keep these updates coming every week for the Mighty McGlynn Home Leagues. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you later.